Wait, before you click away thinking this is just another conspiracy theory, I need you to see something that's going to completely blow your mind. 3 days ago at Paris Fashion Week, something happened that has the entire internet spiraling into chaos. A woman was photographed in the crowd, and when people started analyzing the images, they noticed something impossible. This woman looked exactly like Princess Diana, down to the same facial structure, the same mannerisms, and even that signature shy smile we all remember from the 80s and 90s. But here's the thing that's making everyone lose their minds completely. Princess Diana died in 1997. That was almost 30 years ago. So either we're dealing with the most incredible doppelganger in human history, or something far more extraordinary is happening here. I'm going to show you the evidence, break down the theories that are emerging, and explore what this could possibly mean for everything we thought we knew about time, space, and the British royal family. But first, let me tell you exactly what happened at Paris Fashion Week that has conspiracy theorists, royal watchers, and even serious journalists questioning reality itself. It was Tuesday afternoon, February 17th, when fashion photographer Marcel Dubois was capturing candid shots of the audience at the Chanel show. He was focusing on the usual suspects, celebrities, influencers, fashion editors, when his camera lens caught something unexpected. Sitting in the third row, partially obscured by other guests, was a woman who made him do a double take. She was wearing a navy blue coat with pearl buttons, her blonde hair styled in that familiar feathered cut, and when she turned to speak to the person next to her, Marcel nearly dropped his camera. The resemblance to Princess Diana was so striking that Marcel immediately started taking more photos. He captured her laughing at something, her hand covering her mouth in that characteristic gesture we remember from countless royal photographs. He got shots of her adjusting her hair, crossing her legs in that elegant way Diana was known for, and most incredibly, he captured her looking directly at the camera, with those same piercing blue eyes that captivated the world decades ago. But Marcel wasn't the only one who noticed her. Social media posts from other attendees started appearing within hours. A fashion blogger named Sophie Chen posted an Instagram story with the caption, "Am I going crazy, or does this woman look exactly like Princess Diana?" A TikTok from user fashion_maven_Julie went viral with over 2 million views, showing a brief video of the mysterious woman walking past her seat, and the comment section exploded with people pointing out the uncanny similarities. The woman seemed completely comfortable in this high-fashion environment, nodding approvingly at certain looks, taking notes in a small leather journal, and engaging in animated conversations with other guests. She appeared to know exactly where she was and what she was doing, which makes this whole situation even more perplexing. Now, I know what you're thinking. People have lookalikes all the time. There are Elvis impersonators, Marilyn Monroe tribute artists, and countless people who happen to resemble celebrities. But this goes far beyond a simple resemblance. We're talking about specific mannerisms that would be nearly impossible to replicate without extensive study and practice. The way she tilted her head when listening, the particular way she applauded between shows, even the way she walked, with that slight forward lean that Diana developed after years of bending down to speak to children during royal engagements. Fashion historian Dr. Amanda Richardson, who was also at the show, told reporters that she couldn't stop staring at this woman because every gesture felt hauntingly familiar. Dr. Richardson has written 3 books about royal fashion and has studied hundreds of hours of Diana footage, so she knows these mannerisms better than almost anyone. She said it felt like watching someone who had perfectly absorbed not just Diana's appearance, but her entire physical presence. The plot thickens when we look at what happened after the show. Multiple witnesses reported seeing this mysterious woman get into a car with diplomatic license plates. The vehicle was a black Mercedes, which is significant because that was Diana's preferred car brand when she was alive. But even more intriguing, the car had what appeared to be royal protection officers in the front seats. Now, why would a Diana lookalike need royal protection? And why would she have access to diplomatic vehicles? This is where the theories start getting really interesting. The most straightforward explanation is that this is simply an incredibly talented impersonator, possibly hired by someone for publicity or entertainment purposes. Maybe a fashion house wanted to create buzz by having a Diana lookalike attend their show. It's not unprecedented for brands to use celebrity impersonators for marketing purposes, but then we have to ask why no one has come forward to claim responsibility for this stunt. In today's social media-driven world, if a brand or individual had orchestrated something this elaborate and attention-grabbing, they would typically reveal themselves within days to capitalize on the viral moment. The silence has been deafening. The second theory, and this is where things get really wild, is that we're dealing with some kind of advanced technology. Deepfake technology has become incredibly sophisticated, but we're talking about a live, three-dimensional person here, not a video. However, some tech experts are suggesting that we might be looking at advanced holographic projection or even sophisticated robotics. Companies like Boston Dynamics have created robots that can move with startling human-like fluidity, and the technology for realistic human faces is advancing rapidly. But the hologram theory falls apart when we consider that multiple people interacted with this woman physically. She shook hands, accepted a glass of champagne, and even signed someone's program. Holograms can't do that, at least not with current technology. Then we have the theory that's really capturing imaginations around the world. Time travel. I know it sounds completely insane, but hear me out. What if Princess Diana somehow survived the crash in 1997 and has been living in the future? What if she traveled forward in time to 2026 and decided to attend Paris Fashion Week because she always loved fashion? It would explain why she looked so comfortable in that environment and why she seemed to know exactly what she was doing. The time travel theory gains some credibility when we consider that Diana was known to be interested in alternative healing, spirituality, and unconventional ideas. She consulted psychics, explored various forms of therapy that were considered fringe at the time, and was generally open to possibilities that others might dismiss. If anyone from the royal family would be involved in something as extraordinary as time travel, it would be Diana. There's also the question of timing. Why would she appear now in 2026? Some theorists suggest that this might be connected to what would have been her 65th birthday this year. Maybe there's something significant about this particular moment in time that drew her here. Others point out that 2026 marks the 29th anniversary of the Paris car crash, and perhaps she's here to somehow set the record straight about what really happened that night. The royal family's response to this whole situation has been telling in its absence. Buckingham Palace typically issues statements about rumors and speculation regarding family members, especially when it involves Princess Diana. But so far there's been complete radio silence. This could mean they're simply choosing not to dignify the speculation with a response, or it could mean something much more significant. Some royal watchers are noting that Prince William and Prince Harry have both been unusually quiet on social media lately, which is uncharacteristic for both of them. Harry in particular has been very active in recent months, but his last post was 3 days before the Paris Fashion Week incident. Coincidence? Maybe. But it's worth noting. The investigation into this mystery is being hampered by the fact that the mysterious woman seems to have vanished as completely as she appeared. Security cameras at the fashion venue captured her entering and leaving, but the footage is surprisingly unclear, almost as if there was some kind of interference. The car she left in was tracked for several blocks before it disappeared into what appears to be a dead zone in the city's surveillance network. French authorities are remaining tight-lipped about their investigation, which is unusual for them. Typically, the French police are quite open about ongoing investigations, especially when they involve public figures or unusual circumstances. The fact that they're saying nothing suggests either that they've found nothing of interest, or that they've found something so interesting that they can't talk about it. Marcel Dubois, the photographer who first captured the images, has been receiving offers from media outlets around the world for exclusive rights to his photographs. But Marcel has turned down every offer, saying he wants to make sure the photos are handled respectfully because regardless of who this woman really is, she deserves to have her privacy protected. This ethical stance has only added to the mystery because usually photographers are eager to capitalize on such a scoop. The fashion industry itself is buzzing with theories and speculation. Anna Wintour, the legendary editor of Vogue, was reportedly at the same show but has refused to comment on what she saw or didn't see. Several other fashion insiders who were present have given conflicting accounts, with some insisting they noticed nothing unusual and others claiming they were absolutely convinced they were looking at Princess Diana. One particularly interesting detail that's emerged is that the mysterious woman seemed to know several people at the show. She was seen having animated conversations with at least 3 different individuals, and these weren't brief, polite exchanges. These were substantial conversations where she appeared to be catching up with old friends. If this was an impersonator, how would she have such detailed knowledge of these people's lives that she could convincingly pretend to know them? The psychological impact of this incident is fascinating to consider. Princess Diana remains one of the most beloved public figures of the 20th century, and her death traumatized millions of people around the world. The idea that she might somehow be alive and well in 2026 is incredibly appealing to people who never got over losing her. It's not surprising that people want to believe this is real, because it would mean that one of the most tragic losses in recent royal history might not be as final as we thought. But we also have to consider the possibility that this is exactly what someone wanted us to think. There are individuals and organizations that might benefit from keeping the Princess Diana myth alive and generating new conspiracy theories around her death and disappearance. The entertainment value alone could be worth millions to the right person or company. The timing is also suspicious from another angle. We're living in an era where people are increasingly skeptical of official narratives and more willing to believe in alternative explanations for major events. The rise of social media has made it easier than ever to spread theories and speculation, and people are hungry for content that challenges conventional wisdom. A Princess Diana time travel story is exactly the kind of narrative that would capture global attention in 2026. However, we can't ignore the sheer number of details that align perfectly with what we know about Princess Diana. This mysterious woman wasn't just wearing clothes that Diana might have chosen. She was wearing clothes that were almost identical to outfits Diana actually wore to fashion events in the 1990s. The navy coat with pearl buttons, the specific shade of lipstick, the way her hair was styled, even the handbag she carried, all of these details match archival photographs of Diana at similar events. The question becomes, how could an impersonator possibly have access to such specific information about Diana's fashion choices, especially for private events that weren't widely photographed or documented? The level of research required would be extraordinary, and yet every detail seems to be historically accurate. There's also the matter of her age. Princess Diana was 36 when she died in 1997. If she had somehow survived and lived normally, she would be 65 in 2026. The woman at Paris Fashion Week appeared to be exactly that age, with the kind of graceful aging that we might expect from someone who had lived a life of relative privilege and good health care. She didn't look like a 30-something actress in makeup. She looked like a woman in her mid-60s who happened to age very well. The medical community has weighed in with their own theories about what we might be seeing. Some doctors have suggested that this could be an example of exceptional genetic similarity, where someone happens to share enough physical characteristics with Diana to create this uncanny resemblance. But geneticists point out that the odds of such complete similarity, including mannerisms and expressions, would be astronomical. Others in the medical field have raised the possibility of reconstructive surgery, suggesting that someone might have undergone extensive plastic surgery to look like Princess Diana. But facial reconstruction experts say that while it's possible to change someone's appearance dramatically, replicating specific mannerisms and expressions that come from muscle memory and years of practice would be nearly impossible to achieve surgically. The technology sector has contributed their own theories about advanced artificial intelligence and robotics. Some experts believe we might be looking at the first public appearance of an incredibly sophisticated android designed to look and act like Princess Diana. The technology for this kind of replication is theoretically possible with current advances in AI and robotics, but the cost and complexity would be enormous. What makes this theory particularly intriguing is that several major tech companies have been working on projects involving historical figure recreation for educational and entertainment purposes. If someone had successfully created a Princess Diana android, Paris Fashion Week would be exactly the kind of venue where they might choose to test it publicly. The international intelligence community is also reportedly taking interest in this situation. Multiple sources suggest that both British and French intelligence agencies are quietly investigating the incident, though neither government will confirm or deny this. The involvement of intelligence agencies could suggest that there are national security implications we're not aware of, or it could simply mean that they want to prevent this from becoming a diplomatic incident between the UK and France. Social media analysis has revealed some fascinating patterns in how this story has spread and evolved online. The initial posts about the sighting came from accounts that appear to be legitimate fashion industry insiders and attendees, which gives them more credibility than if they had come from known conspiracy theorists or attention seekers. The organic nature of how the story developed suggests that this wasn't a planned social media campaign. However, some digital forensics experts have noted that certain aspects of the online conversation seem artificially amplified. Key hashtags related to the story gained traction unusually quickly, and some of the most viral posts were shared by accounts with suspicious engagement patterns. This could indicate that someone is deliberately promoting the story, though it's not clear whether they're doing so to spread truth or disinformation. The philosophical implications of this situation are profound regardless of what the truth turns out to be. If this really is Princess Diana, it means everything we think we know about life, death, and the nature of time might be wrong. If it's an elaborate hoax, it demonstrates just how sophisticated our ability to manipulate reality and public perception has become in the digital age. From a cultural perspective, this incident reveals our deep, ongoing fascination with Princess Diana and what she represented. Nearly 30 years after her death, The mere possibility that she might be alive again has captured global attention in a way that few other stories could. It speaks to the impact she had on popular culture and how much people still miss her presence in the world. The fashion industry's reaction has been particularly interesting to observe. Many designers and fashion insiders have noted that if this really is Princess Diana, her choice to attend Paris Fashion Week makes perfect sense, because she was always ahead of her time in terms of fashion and used clothing as a form of communication and self-expression. Her attendance at a contemporary fashion show would be entirely consistent with who she was as a person. As we try to make sense of all this, we have to consider what we're really hoping to find. Are we looking for evidence that death isn't final? Are we seeking proof that the official story of the car crash was somehow wrong? Or are we simply so starved for mystery and wonder in our increasingly documented world that we're willing to believe in time travel if it means experiencing something truly extraordinary? The truth is, we may never know with complete certainty what happened at Paris Fashion Week 3 days ago. The woman in question has vanished as mysteriously as she appeared, leaving behind only photographs, witness testimonies, and a global conversation that shows no signs of slowing down. What we can say for certain is that something unusual occurred, something that has challenged our assumptions about what's possible and reminded us that there are still mysteries in this world that can capture our collective imagination. Whether that mystery involves time travel, advanced technology, an incredible coincidence, or an elaborate hoax, it has succeeded in making us question what we think we know about reality. So what do you think really happened? Are we dealing with the most sophisticated impersonation in history? Has technology advanced to the point where we can no longer trust our own eyes? Or is it possible that Princess Diana really did find a way to travel through time to attend Paris Fashion Week in 2026? The evidence is fascinating, the theories are endless, and the truth might be stranger than any of us could imagine. One thing is certain, though. This story has reminded us why Princess Diana continues to captivate people around the world decades after her death. Her impact on culture, fashion, and society was so profound that even the mere possibility of her return can create a global sensation. Whether she's really back or not, the reaction to this incident proves that her influence on our world is as strong today as it ever was. What do you think is really going on here? Let me know in the comments below. And make sure to subscribe, because I have a feeling this story is far from over, and you won't want to miss what happens next.